People think that owning a 650 horsepower 2J swapped vehicle means that you're constantly fixing it. But that's not necessarily the case. This past Sunday, I woke up at 5 a.m., hopped in the car, cold start, drove it up to the mountains, ran the AC on the way there, beat the living crap out of it in the mountains, stopped and grabbed some breakfast, and then drove home without a single issue across the day. And I do that often. I daily drive the car. I drive the car on weekends. I drive the car whenever I want. Whenever my daily's down, I drive this thing. Living with a swapped car is more than possible if you have the dedication. So let's talk about that. So this Sunday, I got up super early to do a nice drive. I love getting up at like 5 a.m. and getting roads before anybody's on them. I was able to get some of this POV driving footage. I mean, it makes for some awesome content that I know you guys love, so we'll have some cool driving media in the next couple of weeks. But going out and doing these drives doesn't take a ton of effort. I get in, I start the car, I go and drive. I pick up a buddy, we go hang out, we get some drives in, stop for some E85 or some regular gas along the way. The car runs on flex fuel, so I like to run E85 any chance I get, but if I got stuck up in the mountains and needed to put pump gas in, we'd be fine. We got some real nice empty roads this Sunday and just exactly what you want. Open roads, nothing but time, and your JZ-Swapped vehicle. It makes the best noises ever. Did all that, stopped for breakfast, turned car off, turned car back on, used the AC. The AC is ice cold in this car because I prepped it to be. After my day of driving it, I was home by 11, 12 o'clock, and I was able to start working on this car, the RX-7, pulled it out of the garage, cleaned the bay, started cleaning all the components like the ABS module and brake booster and all that fun stuff, as well as getting the motor ready together. But I'm able to do that and then come home and still spend time with my family and hang out. All that's to say is that you have to set yourself up to win. So you could do these fun things with it, but you have to plan for your maintenance. The biggest thing is gonna always be your oil changes. When you're running a motor that's this high output, it just takes extra care. Check your oil before you leave. Check your oil when you get back. Make sure there's no drips underneath. Make sure you're up to date with your trans fluid, your oil, your coolant. I do flushes pretty often with it, but when you keep up with it, it doesn't take that much. An hour here, an hour there, spend some time working on your car. Same way you'd have to do it with any other car. Had to do my wife's oil change in her Integra this weekend, and I had time to do it because I made sure this thing was prepped. But that reliability just doesn't happen on accident. Proper reliability is something that you have to plan for. Building it right, using some of the previous build Bibles that I put together to help you put together the right parts recipe, so that you do have a setup that's bulletproof because it's tried and true. Don't cut corners. The cheap shortcut ends up costing you thousands later on. It's just not worth it. Anywhere from turbo setups, computer, wheels, suspension. There are certain places to maybe save some money, but when it comes to a drivetrain engine build, there's just no real corner you can cut and not bite you in the ass later on. And that's something that I'm going through with the RX-7 right now. And your parts coming together is only as good as your tuner. A proper tuner allows you to enjoy a car the way it should be enjoyed. A proper tuner allows you to have a safe tune. Main thing that I've always talked about in these videos is I try to aim for a factor of safety of 2, meaning I build it for double what it's gonna sit at. The car's making 600, it's built for about 1,000. It's like a 1.8, 1.9 factor of safety. And that's far greater than what your typical automotive manufacturers sit at. They usually sit at a factor of safety about 1.2 to 1.5. It's just engineering standards, simple stuff, but really it all boils down to overbuild. If you want to use and abuse your car at a certain power point, make sure that it's not only built for that power point. If you're making 500 and it's built for 600, it's not going to last very long. But if it's making 500 and it's built for 1,000, more than likely you could beat up that car and it could take it. And that's exactly what we do here. You see the videos that I'm putting up. I don't take it easy on this car, and that's kind of the point of it for me. I enjoy beating it up. I enjoy having fun with it, and that's part of the process for me. And really it just comes down to staying ahead of it. You hear a noise, address it. Take a look. You see a leak, address it. Take a look, clean it up. Spend your time, try to set it up so that if you have a couple of things that you have to do at once, do it at once. Be efficient about it. If I have to do an oil change and I have to take a front bumper off or something, I'll do mods and stuff that I've been meaning to do along with it. Maybe some preventative maintenance while I'm in there. It's worth doing instead of overlooking. Pay attention, that's what it's about. And at the end of the day, just drive it. Good maintenance should create confidence, not fear of using the car. So, Moral of the story. A built car is always going to ask more of you than a stock one. But if you build it right, maintain it, and pay attention, it doesn't have to live in the garage. You can actually enjoy the thing that you built, take it to the track, drive it daily, cruise, whatever you end up doing with it, and not have to worry about it all the time. It all comes down to the proper build and maintenance. So anybody can own a swapped car, a modified car. It's just a matter of paying attention to detail, keeping it simple, and using quality parts. So that's my spiel today. Thank you guys for watching. Next week, I think a little ASMR video of driving it. And then we'll be rolling into the turbo kit install on the 13B for my RX-7 and finally getting this thing running. So thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you next week. See ya.